Where'd you go?
Hey guys, so this is the other day at Search and Rescue. This is somebody that Dixie has never met before, and it's a mostly urban environment. Now, this track isn't terribly long because it was
Where'd you go?
90 degrees out the other day, um, and I like Dixie
Good
enough not to kill
girl.
her.
Yeah,
But check that out. So we get started off of that hat. I tell her, yes, that's the one.
Good
And
girl. Yeah,
we keep a move
baby.
on. So, of course, with any Dixie track, we're going to have to clear the system out first before, we actually get down to business. Um, it's so funny. It is, like, so predictable. I do let her out to potty before we get on a track, but she's like, no, I can't do that now. I gotta wait till I'm on the track. So, oh
Good
man.
girl. Yeah.
But it's so funny
Good
because she'll
girl.
go and then
Good
she gets,
girl.
like, super back to work. Um, so this track, of course she's never been here before. I've never been there before. So we're going mostly down the sidewalk here, which is awesome. Um, she's getting real comfortable working concrete, and um, I'm pretty happy with that. So with her, you can tell it's getting hotter because she'll start doing her hops. She'll start bouncing into it. And Dixie, it's 0 to 100 in the matter of 2 seconds, right? So you can see it getting a little weaker there because
Where we going, baby?
there's a turn. So she shakes it off, trying to get more
Good
scent.
girl.
There's a lot of people that have driven over that. I wouldn't say like a lot, like 5 or 6 cars that have driven over that. Now, at the bottom of a hill, right, you're going to see more scent pooling at the bottom, right? So she's going to go back and forth like, whoa, what is going on here? Until she finds the track leading up the hill. So keep in mind, unfortunately in Florida, we don't have as many pretty hills as there are in Alabama. So, in real life and back at home, y'all may have to work a few hills, just getting her used to working those, but I will find the ones that I can. Unfortunately, we're not,
I know.
you can watch your dog run away for 2 weeks here. So here we go. And boom, there she is. Oh man, that tail just kind of just tells everything.
Good girl, yeah.
So
Good job.
that dog would do anything for a ball.
Good job, yeah.
So there's one, which leads into,
Oh yeah, sobra.
let's see, this one, where I didn't know where the article was. As you can see, we're very, very excited to go to work today. So this one, I had Jace. Of course, we've tracked here a lot, but I try not to track, back to back to back on, every day using the same place. But sometimes we gotta stay home. But that's okay because, we're getting creative using what we got. So in true Dixie fashion, gotta clear the system out before we can launch. And it's like she will drag that out.
Like a girl.
It's never, let me get this done real fast. It's no, we are dragging this out. This is part of the process. And we'll get to business when we get to business. So here we go. Now, as she comes up to the article here in a second, because I wasn't sure where Jace had the article, so I found a footprint and started her off of that.
Dixie, where'd she go? Dixie, where'd she go?
So anyway, as we're coming up to the article, I'm going to start kind of freaking out because I want her to have like a really hardcore emotional response to this article. And as you can see, we got that. Oh man.
Dixie.
She is so funny.
Out. Yeah, I know, crazy person. Good girl. All right. Good job.
So,
Where'd she go?
Back to work. You know, we had a little bit of a confidence boost there. And, I mean, but she settles right back into it. So it's like you gotta have some Dixie moments every once in a while. Because I think that keeps the morale up and it keeps her happily working. But, I mean, look at her. She's all business. And as I've said in previous videos, you know, the clay and sand roads are like the hardest to work. Even though us humans can see the track pretty easily on clay. You know, definitely I think asphalt is easier. So here's an interesting thing coming up here. So we have Jace's track, which you can pretty easily see. But coming up here in a little bit, we also have a couple hours old track from her, you know, from walking home from the bus. So she's going to have to make a pretty clear decision of, you know, whether or not we want to check out where this old one goes, or are we going to stick to the hot one.
Where'd you go?
Now, with most tracking dogs, you know, of course, they're going to want to stick to the hot track. The hot track is what gets them paid faster. Which is why, like, when you know, when we start introducing loops and, you know, weird stuff like that, you know, a lot of times dogs will skip over certain parts because they're like, whoa, that was way smellier. That one's hotter. It's closer to my person. You know, and if it was a sport dog, we would go away from it, but, you know, this is a real life dog, so, you know, the closer and faster we can get there, the better. So, but, I mean, she really is, for being her wide-open Dixie self, she really is very, very methodical when it comes to tracking. And, honestly, it's a little bit surprising, just because, you know, we all know who she is, and I'm thrilled, to say the least, that she settled into it so good. So this is where that decision point was. That's the road where Jace's bus drops her off. So you can see she goes up there, she lifts her head up and says no, and then goes back to where the hotter track is.
Good girl. Good girl.
So, and you can see it's getting hotter for her because her pace changes. So, you know, you'll notice, like, when she's working hard to figure it out, she slows down, and when she's really confident on something, like, she hits the gas. And, so this is good things to keep in mind in real life, because, like, she does pretty obvious things when you're about to come up on somebody. And, you know, I'm sure you know, like, search and rescue applications can go criminal in a heartbeat, you know, and sometimes you don't want to roll up on somebody right away. And you want some warning, you know. So, this track has 4 turns, so this is the sort of long way.
Good job.
And coming up here, that's a pretty, people drive like idiots on this road coming up here. So I do an emergency call off on her, because, you know, it's a really good thing to have. Eventually I'll make that a down, but I think getting her back to you is really, really important. And, you know, the fact that she'll call off the track and then go back to working, you know, that's hard to do. So anyway, here we are coming up, and of course it's right at our surface change. Why wouldn't it be?
Hang on, Dixie! Go.
So right there, I call her off.
Go, Dixie.
And she does so good
Sit.
listening to me for that. It's so hard when they're in hunt mode to, want to drop it.
Where'd you go?
But she did. We let that truck pass, and we didn't become, outlines in the road.
Come here.
So, sorry about the bad camera handling there. I was trying to adjust my leash so she wasn't so far ahead of me that I couldn't,
Huh? Did you go
if she did blow off a call off, at least I could reel her in faster. So, this isn't the highway, but people. So, I bring her to the far side of the road. She clearly says no to me, like, there's nothing here. So, she looks back, she pants, and is just kind of like, what do you want? So, I realize, there's only one other option. Basically, we'll try this other side of the road, and as you can see, it's a totally different behavior. So, and that's where she crossed the road, is right there. And I tried to do it too soon. And that's why you always got to listen to the dog. I ain't the one with the nose.
Good girl.
So, here we're coming up on the highway. And, I find this interesting as we're getting down here. Every time a car drives by, we're swirling that scent all around. But there's this really nice big drain pipe here and this like concrete
There's a big one in it,
sort of highway. And I don't know, I'm not 100% sure if Jace walked up there or down there. I couldn't really tell. But the way the highway is, it's going to be pushing down there. And I'm letting her work, but I'm trying to avoid going down there because it's pretty slick. And I am not the most coordinated person in the world. So you can see her trying to cast. So she's going back and forth like I had it. But there we are. So her going back and forth is like, okay, I've got odor, but
oh shit,
I need to figure how this odor is working. And I get down there anyway.
Where'd she go? Is it getting trapped down here, baby?
So again, she's going back up. Because, like, look at how that is. It's basically like a plate. And, there's water down there. It's going to be holding that quite a bit. So, I try to get her out of that just so she's not trapped in odor there.
Good girl!
And there
Dixie!
it is. Her tail started going before she even saw her.
Good job! Good job! Dixie!